This is a video abstract for our study titled Understanding Decision Processes in Becoming a Fee-for-Hire Service Provider, a case study on direct seeded rice in Bihar, India. The situation in Bihar currently is that there is growing uptake of zero-tillage practices, yet there are very few DSR service providers. We know that DSR can provide benefits to farmers, so what we would like to see is a growing number of zero-tillage farmers, increasing drill ownership, and zero-tillage service provision. What we want to know is how to maximize DSR service provision. To understand this, we undertook 43 semi-structured interviews with zero-tillage drill owners to understand what actions are required to move us from where we are to where we want to be. In particular, we wanted to explore two things: how to increase DSR farmer uptake and how to increase DSR service provision. Through an in-depth structured analysis, we identified a mind map full of interrelated drivers that complicate the provision of DSR services. On the demand side, interested farmers with suitable land are few and far between, and most farmers have a deeply held belief that transplanting rice will provide them the greatest productivity, despite labour constraints. Poor performance, driven by various farmer-level constraints, also drive negative perceptions, which are exacerbated by negative publicity of non-DSR service providers. This makes transition to DSR in the monsoon much more complex than transitioning to zero-tillage wheat in winter. On the supply side, regardless of technology, agricultural service provision requires high levels of altruism given the complexities of debt recovery and constraints to the scale of a business. This was further exacerbated in DSR service provision, where new and unfunded tasks were required, which led to issues with profitability of DSR service provision. Overall, this means that providing DSR services was reserved for those only with strong community mindedness and a willingness to forego income to provide benefits within their communities. From this study, we've identified three clear next steps for scaling direct-seeded rice in Bihar. The first is that outsiders are needed to directly support DSR promotion, as service providers are not culturally or otherwise able to act as promoters. Secondly, selection of DSR service providers should include screening for altruistic motivations. And finally, DSR scaling will need alternative promotional pathways and will not scale in the same way as zero-tillage wheat, given the identified extra complexities.